Welcome to Biz and Banter in the Blue Room with yours truly, Stephanie Hammond. We'll talk business strategy and a little banter, and I hope you walk away just a little bit more inspired. I'm so excited that you're here today, Callie, our luxury marketing specialist for Coldwell Banker Realty. You cover an expansive area.
I do.
How long have you been with Coldwell Banker?
I started with Coldwell Banker last February, so it's been a little bit over a year. However, I have been with the entire Anywhere Now CIH Bridge group for almost 5 years now. So I was previously with another brokerage, and then I moved over to Coldwell Banker last year.
You've built a really deep connection, not even connection, just expertise in luxury real estate. Where did that come from?
Well, I think I've always had an interest in luxury real estate. I remember when I was younger, I loved driving by all of the beautiful homes in my area, and that was a fun activity for me, and looking at what homes were on the market. So that kind of was what initially piqued my interest. And then I feel like I kind of just fell into it. I had a couple different internships that were real estate adjacent and always had a marketing focus. And then when I found myself in that other role that I mentioned at another brokerage, that was in New York City, which to many people around the country is a luxury to live in of itself. So I was kind of inserted into a space where all of the real estate was somewhat of a luxury to be able to own a luxury home, apartment, whatever it might be in New York. And I was immediately exposed to a lot of top agents who were consistently working with luxury listings and elite clientele. And I really got to see the different ins and outs of what they were doing. I wasn't selling the homes. I was working alongside the people and the systems that support them. I was kind of drawn more to that, less the transaction and the sales side, but more to understanding what was driving their success, how agents were able to build trust, price things because I knew nothing about that, position their portfolios, and then kind of navigate the changing markets, working with different clientele. And then moving over to Coldwell Banker, as you said, I work with so much territory. I don't just cover Pennsylvania, let alone the town that I live in, but I work also all the way up to New York and out to Minnesota. So I'm really able to see all of the different things that are happening in those markets and not focusing on my own production, but the trends and things are happening there. So then I can go back to my agents and say, this is what we're seeing is successful, and having more of an operational and strategic perspective. So compared to an agent, I have that outside look, and I'm not trying to do deals, and I'm not trying to manage client expectations, but come in with a perspective of this is what works well, and also all the while doing something I enjoy and being able to look at these beautiful homes.
I love it. I love it. Agents are our clients, right?
Yeah.
And you were just in the Pennsylvania office doing a global luxury workshop. Thank you for that, by the way. And there were quite a few agents that came up to me afterwards and said, Callie doesn't sell homes, right? Because we don't want to be up against her with how much she knows about luxury and all of the resources that, that we have and things that agents can use in the luxury space to help them.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most underutilized tool that's available for Coldwell Banker Realty agents?
It's funny that you say that because I feel like a lot of agents luckily don't see me as competition. So they're more willing to open up. They don't have to defend themselves or compare themselves, but they're really engaging with our team, and they look at me as a strategic partner, and they look at me as a guide, and they're more open to ask questions and things. So a lot of that does come down to education, and something that I feel like is most important is not necessarily like a tool, but it's a mindset. And being able to have good judgment, knowing what matters, what doesn't matter, and how to act with precision. Because even if you have the skills and all of the resources and all of the tools, if you don't adopt the right mindset, you're not going to find success. And that's where our team kind of comes in to focus on education and provide those resources, but in a strategic way to say, this is how they're best used. Marketing has its core, but how do we differentiate standard marketing from what levels up to luxury marketing, marketing that $1 million, $2 million home versus a $500,000 home. It's not necessarily different tools, but it's the way you approach them. But if I did have to pick a tool, we we have a global luxury listing guidebook that I love referencing because it neatly packages everything that we recommend doing when you are marketing a luxury listing. And one of those things that I think is not always utilized is listing concierge. A lot of agents are using it. And then I'm finding that a lot of agents aren't using it. And what I love about it is that it's neatly packaging all of the marketing assets in one. Because in past experience at my past brokerage, we didn't have anything like that. If
Mm.
an agent wanted a mailer or a brochure, they either had to make it in what was similar to our marketing center, or they had to go the custom route. And the great thing about Listing Concierge is that it's all made for you and packaged for you. You just say, I like this photo best, or I like this text best. And at the end of the day, making smarter choices, not making things more difficult. And I think that's something that Listing Concierge does.
I couldn't agree more, especially with the luxury listings. We know that listing concierge can be used for any listing, and it should be no brainer with
Right.
the photography included. But there's that little checkbox that says this is a global luxury listing. Click on it, and then you're going to get the branding, and your listing concierge coordinator knows this is a luxury listing. It
Yes.
should be treated as such, and it just makes it so much easier. I'm going to go back to what you first said with mindset because
Yeah.
I love that answer. There are two things you can control in this business, and that's your lead generation efforts and your mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to generate leads either. Would you do for an agent who's doesn't think that they are quote unquote good enough to work in the luxury space?
Yeah, I don't like that mindset. So I would try to first get
I don't
out of
either. I
that
don't either.
because I always think about it like, okay, do you know the difference between luxury brands? Like I spoke with an agent last week who said something so funny. She said, it's like shopping at a Neiman Marcus versus a TJ Maxx. Do you know the difference in the experience that you were getting? And I
Hmm.
think that's a mindset that once agents are able to adopt, they can step up and sell luxuries. And same goes for an agent in the office yesterday said, I had a seller who didn't think I'd work with them because I always sell $1 million plus homes and their home is 550. And
Hmm.
that's not true either. It's shifting the mindset and the way you approach the seller in your pitch and your presentation and your marketing plan and the way you approach getting the word out and marketing the listing.
I love it.
At the core, it's really being able to say, I can, and I have the tools to do this. And if I don't feel like I can, reaching out to different people and resources, me and the rest of my team, and you and Corinne, and the people who are going to help them get there because anyone can do it. People start from the ground up
Mhm.
and start selling multi-million-dollar homes pretty quickly once they adopt that mindset.
I mean, out of anything else you're going to say today, I think that that's the most important piece is that mindset. The the president of the Coldwell Banker affiliate side said at Gen Blue last year, and this really stuck with me. Jason Waugh, I really hope I pronounced that right. He was talking about the experience that you provide. If you think about it, you've got two different
Yeah.
coffee shops. You have Dunkin' Donuts and you have Starbucks. If you
Mhm.
look at the cost of a cup of coffee at each of those coffee shops, they're relatively the same. But what do you get that's different at each of those coffee shops? And it's the
Yeah.
experience. It's the feeling that you get. It's how you're treated when you walk in the door that makes all that difference. So I love that. I love that mindset piece.
I agree, and I think the same goes for marketing. So both of those coffee shops are selling coffee, and it's just the way they do it is different, and that's the same that goes for marketing. So the strategies in that guidebook that I mentioned and the things that our team promotes are things that field marketing might promote for any listing. It doesn't have to be luxury, but it's the way you approach it and the strategy that you take and also the kind of buyers and potential prospects that you're targeting that make the difference and the language that you're using and the quality of the photography and all of that where you can look at two different listings or maybe two different mailers and say this one is luxury.
Yep, absolutely. And you were mentioning some words yesterday to replace this with that. Could you share one or two of those? And
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
remember off the top of my head, or I would say it.
yes, I'm like, oh, what did I say? I think And we had a whole workshop actually about this in our educational series talking about, like, the language that you use, and I think it starts with the way you position your value and the things that you say about yourself, and then the words that you use when it comes to marketing, like, "I can," "I will," or versus, "What do you think we should do?" This is what I
Right.
think we should do from my experience because I know that this works, and a lot of it with the words, it's about delivering confidence in the things that you talk about, and that's why I'm so keen on promoting our talking points for our listing presentations because they're right there for you. You can walk in and highlight a few things or right before read them over and it really elevates and I'm a big believer in the way that you articulate yourself and the way you position yourself will really impact how people see you. And that goes back to that confidence and the seller knowing that you can step up to the plate because
Mhm.
of the things that you say. And a lot of people say actions speak louder than words, but I still think that words matter and that's what tees you up for those actions.
So many gems with that. So, how does somebody become luxury certified?
We have a luxury certification course. In the past, it was in person and now it's on demand, which is great because we know that our agents are on the go. They're juggling appointments and responsibilities and other things that happen in life. So it's entirely on demand. It's hosted by the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. So you can start and stop the videos at any time. And what's great is that the class is taught by our global luxury ambassadors. So there are other agents at Coldwell Banker who found success in the luxury real estate market, who are our experts. And kind of going back to that competition element, that it doesn't even deliver that piece of competition because they want other agents to adopt those strategies. And that's our goal with the course is even if you have experience selling luxury, you might not be adopting all of these strategies or maybe you'll learn something, maybe you'll make a connection. And then the other important piece of that certification course is a sales application. We require agents who want to become luxury certified to have 3 sales on the buy or the sell side that are at or above the local luxury threshold. And the threshold would be the top 10% of the market based on zip code. We have a tool for that on desk. So they would be able to see, does my sale qualify? And it would be in a 24-month period. So 2 years, it could be leading up to the course, during the course, or after. And once they submit that, they would qualify to be a luxury property specialist.
I've personally taken the course. I audited it a few years ago, I think, at this point. You hear a lot of people talk about collaboration over competition. This
Mm,
this isn't a Shark Tank. It's
yeah.
how the agents get along with each other so that we look greater in the eye of the consumer. This course is such a shining example of that because of the caliber of the agents that are coming on, giving all of their tips and tricks. They're not tricks, best practices, and how they're running their luxury business and how they're giving that experience to their clients. I encourage anybody, any agent who's even thinking about it, jump on it. Reach out to
I agree.
Callie, ask her any
Yeah.
questions about it. It is really such a powerful course. And if you're on that cusp of, you're not sure if you can or you can't, first of all, Callie and I will help you with that mindset
Mhm.
piece.
Yeah.
Take the course. Why not? You only have to take it once. You don't have to renew every year, pay more money. You have that certification. And now there's more of the events, luxury on location.
Yeah. So luxury on location is one type of event that we do. This year, there's going to be two, one in Washington, D.C. in June, and then one in Chicago in September. Really excited about those. I'll be attending the Washington, D.C. one. And the great thing is that we've hosted these in the past. They had them last year, and now we're looking at them from more of a strategy perspective of what worked and what can we build upon it. Last year, it was more of a cocktail hour, and then we had property tours. This year, they're starting it earlier in the day, having roundtable networking sessions for groups of agents from different metropolitan areas, people in New York, Texas, California, Miami, all coming together to talk about what they're doing, what they're seeing as trends in the luxury market, what tools they're using, what they think levels up, hopefully making some referrals, and then going into that cocktail hour. And then the next day having property tours. So a little bit more elaborate In addition to those events, we have quarterly virtual sessions that all of our agents can attend. They're led by Michael E.2, and he's always on par with whatever's happening in the luxury market. He's a step ahead all of us with what we're doing next. He released Coldwell magazine, which is beautiful, and we're so excited about that. Our next issue is coming out soon. And then also at Gen Blue having those luxury happy hours, and then more localized after our Philly Expo, we'll do a luxury happy hour, and just bringing those luxury agents into the same room to talk and say, hey, here's what I'm seeing. This is what I'm doing that works, and making those connections.
And it's only for luxury certified
Yes.
agents. Being a part of the one we did after our expo last year was just, it was
Mhm.
powerful
It was
to
great.
watch that caliber of agents be in the room together networking, and oh, I didn't realize you were a luxury certified agent, right? And just those
Yeah.
conversations happening organically.
No, it's okay.
Events are always a powerful, powerful networking tool. And I hope that all of our luxury agents in the region take advantage of that one in DC. How can they find out more information about that? Is
Yep.
there
So there is a
information
mailing
posted?
list from Michael,
Okay.
and he sends out emails about that. And then I can also forward that information on. I sent it to a couple agents yesterday who I had connected with, and hoping to see some more signups there. And what's great is that now they're offering a 2 for 1. So if you sign up for Chicago and DC, you'll get a better deal on pricing for that
Oh, I like that. That's
incentive.
great. I haven't been to Chicago. And just
Either.
as a side note, if you don't follow Michael Altnew on Instagram, you should.
Please
If
do.
you're a luxury agent or you're thinking about getting into it, follow
Mhm.
him. So there's a lot that we offer, right? We could rattle off all the tools that are part of Global Luxury. What's really the differentiating point for Coldwell Banker when it comes to the luxury market?
Well, first off, I would say from what we know, the other brokerages who have like a luxury division or stamp luxury on their properties, on their marketing materials, they don't actually have the course element and the requirement to not only take the course, but show that you have sold luxury before and you're experienced in selling luxury and you're willing to take that next step. They don't have that. That's what sets us apart right off the bat. And then next would be our tools. So, not even being luxury certified, but having a luxury listing qualifies you to have that listing exposed on a variety of channels and websites from Barron's, Wall Street Journal, Market Watch, as well as Proper Star, which is our international portal where your listing would be syndicated to a variety of websites. And Coldwell Banker is paying for that for all of our luxury listings. And I know that not every brokerage does that. Absolutely taking advantage of that is amazing. And you don't have to be luxury certified for that piece. But if you are luxury certified, having access to the tools that we make available to you, I can't tell you how many agents who are luxury certified for years don't know what Wealth Engine is. They've never even looked at it. And it's our most underutilized but valuable, amazing tool that will help agents prospect, not only find maybe they want to look up their seller before walking in the door and knowing a little bit more information about them, or they have a buyer come to an open house and they want to know, is this person actually qualified? Is this a good connection to make? But the best part of it is that it's a prospecting tool and they can use it to build prospect lists that are extremely specific for a listing. So we've seen an agent in Connecticut had a house with a 10-car garage, and they used Wealth Engine to search for potential prospects who had multiple cars and wanted that amount of space and help them find the buyer through that. Or I've worked with agents who are selling equestrian properties in the area and they're looking for people who have those interests in horses and farming and want more land. Maybe they already own a farm, but they're looking to expand. Being able to plug in those characteristics is so important and valuable. And then, let alone the lifestyle factors, but also being able to plug in net worth, income, charitable things, giving, all of that to actually know not only would they be interested in this home and would it be a good fit, but they qualify. And it's realistic to reach out to them and using those lists to target your boost ads from Listing Concierge, send a targeted mailer to a smaller, more localized list, or send out an email with a lot of information. Maybe it's before and after photos or a property video. It's setting them apart and it's invaluable information. And the great thing is that this tool is entirely free with their luxury certification and they get 500 prospects every year to use. And I know agents who've kept their lists year and year after, they just keep adding to it.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It is. When I was asking earlier, I was hoping you were going to bring up Wealth Engine because it
Yeah.
is just such, again, I'm going to use the word powerful. It's such a powerful tool for a luxury agent to have in their arsenal, and to hear that those credits that the agent receives, all company paid, just go unused just hurts
Mhm.
my marketing heart. So I hope anybody watching this, if you are a luxury agent, that you jump on it, reach out to Callie or your own
Yeah.
luxury specialist in your region and learn more about this tool. So can I ask you about AI identified? Am I saying that properly?
Yes. So
Okay.
AI Identified is the next tool that we're bringing on. Also only available for luxury property specialists. However, it's not entirely complimentary, but we are offering it at a subsidized rate.
Okay.
And I think it will pair nicely with Wealth Engine. While it's a similar tool, it actually works off of your current database and network, similar to how you would see on Facebook. You have one connection with this person. Do you want to be friends? Or people on LinkedIn that you might want to connect with there through mutuals. It's doing that same thing and helping you prospect more in terms of networking. Maybe it's not used as specific for a home, which you can do, and you can plug in those lifestyle attributes, but it's more likely that you'll be able to form a connection with this person because you already have something or someone in common.
Okay.
And you can either plug in your own database and it will make connections from there, or they have a living database. I'm really excited to roll that out and get more agents onboarded there. And hopefully it's something that we see flourish and have some more success stories with, like we do with Wealth Engine.
Is it available now?
Coming soon.
Coming soon. That's another exciting addition to all of the luxury resources that we already have. So an agent sells the number of homes, they qualify to be a luxury agent, they take the course, they have the certification. Now what? What would the
Mhm.
next 90 days look like for them? Or what would you recommend they do in those next 90 days?
First, I would say working on their personal branding, ordering global luxury business cards, adding our global luxury logo to their email signature. All of their prospecting mailers can have that global luxury sign on it because now it doesn't just have to be property focused, but personal as well. So when they're speaking to someone and trying to get more sellers to work with, approach buyers, they have that tool to say, I am luxury certified, something in their arsenal. And then after that, I think it would be a big shift again in that mindset of how
Mhm.
you're approaching luxury, maybe tweaking some slides in your listing presentation and adding more of our global luxury brand slides in there. That's key. And reviewing those talking points to be able to speak to them and feel comfortable with the program because I've worked with so many agents who say they're luxury certified, but they don't even know what that means.
Yep.
It's
And that's
important
okay.
to understand what you're paying for and what you have access to.
Well, I think one of the key points that you just said is this is about marketing you. Once you have that
Yes.
certification, it's not about the property. That's a distinction. And if you have that mindset that you are luxury, that's the right mindset to be in to really work this program and all that it has to offer. So you mentioned
Absolutely.
the listing presentation and adding some of the luxury pages in there. How else would a luxury listing presentation differ from a non-luxury listing presentation? In your opinion? In your opinion.
In my opinion, it really starts with the overall visuals and design. It's little things that make such a big difference. The
Mhm.
fonts you're using, the colors, the visuals, the quality of the photography. All of that matters so much. And I can tell right off the bat if an agent is familiar with luxury versus not, just based on that listing presentation, if they've taken the time to customize it, make it more personalized. Adding in slides about you and your experience and your accolades, those things are so important. And to be able to show your experience and that knowledge and say, I can't just tell you that I'm a luxury real estate agent, but here's the proof. Here are XYZ sales that I did in this price point that will resonate. That's so key. And also making it look beautiful and elegant, but simple and not too much word jumble on a page with 1,000 small photos. I like to think of a listing presentation as something that could sit as a coffee table book.
I love
You
that.
want it to be somewhat evergreen, but updated in terms of those annual accolades and those notable sales. And of course, when we update our brand slides with our numbers and things like that, leading with our global luxury stats is also really important because, again, that's speaking to our program and global luxury as a brand, aside from just the standard Coldwell Banker brand. It's the black and white, but adding your own spin on it, adding your own flair, whether it's just, I like to talk about a curated vendor list. I have a guy for that kind of thing. That's great. And it shows that you have experience and you're ingrained in the community and you have those people who can back you and make it a swift process rather than saying, I'll make it an easy process for you. You're really showing them. And that's where those visuals come into play with the words that you're using. And I really see those are the differences between luxury listing presentations and just our standard.
And it goes back to what you said, and actions speak louder than words,
Yeah.
but we're combining the actions with the right words with the
Yes.
listing presentation. And of course, there's a tool for that. There's always a tool for
Mhm.
that Coldwell Banker offers. Whether you're using Moxie Present, there's a luxury presentation in there. Makes it very easy to just grab and go and then customize it. Is working on a listing presentation something that an agent can reach out to you to do?
Yes, I can. And I think that is something that I would encourage agents to do is to reach out because we want to make sure they have access to all of the tools and they feel confident going into that listing presentation. We actually have our next education workshop coming up on May 20th, and that is focused on delivering bespoke listing presentations. It will be everything from where to find the presentations and the talking points to those tweaks that you can make that I was talking about, but I'm happy to work with agents. I just met with an agent yesterday who says she has her first $1 million listing and I checked, did you use this? Like, do you need these tools? Because I want them to feel good about going into the presentation and again have that mindset of I can do this, I can get this listing and I can market it and I can sell it.
100%. You can cause that home to sell. Anybody can list a home, not everybody can sell a home.
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
you're speaking about the particular agent that I think you are, this is her first $1 million listing. And she's been in the business for quite a while, but now she got her first one, and it's her goal over the next year to become a luxury certified agent. It just took that one conversation to give her that confidence to show the tools that she has at her disposal to use. And now she's going to become a luxury certified agent. So that's it's just very exciting. And I appreciate all of your help with that, Callie.
Yeah, of course.
I have to ask you before we end this, what do you like to do in your free time?
Oh, well, I am still considered relatively new to the area. I've only lived in Pennsylvania for a little over 2 years and still finding my footing. A lot of that free time of mine is spent like exploring different towns, trying new restaurants. I love trying new restaurants. I do consider myself somewhat of the expert of where to eat in my town, but not necessarily all the other towns around me. Well,
Okay.
probably that, and then at home, I love cooking and baking and trying new recipes.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
so can I ask, what is your favorite right now? What is your favorite restaurant?
Easy. Andiario in Westchester.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is phenomenal. It's a tasting menu, so you don't know what you're eating going into the meal.
Love
It's
it.
4 courses. They do offer a wine pairing, and everyone who works there is lovely. You have to make reservations a month in advance. They come out on the 20th. I'm not there every month, but I try to be there frequently just because I think it's such a wonderful experience, and all of the food is farm to table, which
Okay.
I love, and especially as someone who lives on a farm and really tries to shop locally and support local farmers and purchase local produce and things that are in season. I love that about this restaurant, and it's so obscure you wouldn't even know what it was walking by it,
It's even
but
better.
I always see people peeking in the window, "What is that?" And it's amazing. For a special occasion, sometimes I just want to celebrate it's Thursday, almost the weekend, and I go, and it's great. It's one of my favorite date night spots.
I was like, wait a second, is today Thursday? Are we going? No, it's Wednesday.
I will not
Yeah,
be there this week.
dang it. Well, thank you so much for joining and
Yeah.
giving information about the luxury program because there just really is so much that is offered. If the luxury market is something that interests you, you're on your way there, do yourself a favor and make an appointment with Callie and have that conversation. And what can you do to start leveling up your brand, your branding, your presentations, your networking skills and what you're doing for networking? Have a conversation. That's what Callie's here for. She is part of our support team, the leadership team at Coldwell Banker. And Callie, I couldn't be more grateful to have you on the team.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be on the team.
And next time you go to that restaurant, let me know, and I'd love to join you. That would be so fun.
I
Let's
would
do
love
it.
that.
Oh my gosh, now I'm getting hungry. Okay, I'm gonna put some links in the comments so that agents have them. You've got them. Use them. Thanks for listening.